Hello everybody, Hassan Sharik, regulated Canadian immigration consultant, back with another video. My prayers and wishes that all of you, along with your families, are doing really well wherever in the world you are. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for all the great support that you provide, all the great feedback that you provide on the various social media platforms. Today, while sitting outside my house on this cloudy and windy Sunday afternoon, I got some feedback from my social media team about some of the questions and queries that they've been receiving. And that's when I thought that I'll make an informal video and in a few minutes I'll discuss the overall picture of Canadian skilled migration and to an extent try and answer some of the questions which are common questions that my social media team gets to have. So we all know that Canadian skilled migration has become competitive. It has become competitive in last about a year compared to how it was probably 2 years or 3 years ago. The recent COVID situation has had its impact as well. One of the programs that a lot of people know all around the world is the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Federal Skilled Worker Program is very, very competitive now. The CRS score that is there has gone up to 470s. The recent draw that we had, which was a draw after like 4 months, the cutoff CRS was at 478. And before that even it was 470s, high 60s and 470s. Now to get 460 or 470, you need a picture perfect profile. You must not be more than 30 years of age. You must have a CLB9 IELTS, which is 8 in listening and 7 in all other modules. And you should have qualifications, ideally a master's, but otherwise a bachelor's, as well as a 1-year diploma or a certificate. So a lot of people who are lacking in either one of these will miss on this opportunity. One of the very common profiles or queries that we get to have in our firm and through our social media platforms is people who have 4 years bachelor's degree and otherwise might have a good language ability, might have their age is not more than 30 years of age, and they're asking for options. Right now, with how the situation is, people with 4 years bachelor's degrees do not have a realistic chance under the Federal Skilled Worker Program. If you want to qualify under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you must have ideally a master's, but if you don't have a master's, a postgraduate diploma or a certificate after a bachelor's degrees. The second option, where a lot of people ask that what is the opportunity over there, is the provincial nomination programs, commonly known as PNPs. Now there's a lot of misconceptions about PNPs. A lot of people think that PNPs are easier to immigrate through compared with the federal programs. Yes, and a very big no. You have to understand that what is the need for PNPs and how they come into being. So Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. Each of these provinces and territories is allowed an annual quota of immigrants every year by the federal government, and it is based on usually the size of the province. So the bigger provinces like Ontario or Alberta would have a higher number, smaller provinces would have a smaller number. Now each province, based on a few factors which are usually the structure of their economy, like what industries do they have in their economies, and the skill shortage related to that, would have a certain professions in high demand, and that is where they invite people with those specific skill set or that particular profession to move to Canada, to move to that particular province and be economically active in that province. If we go back about 4 years, it was true that a lot of provinces were easier to get nomination and to get PNPs. But what we've seen in that last 3 to 4 years, a large number of people have moved to Canada on various temporary work visas, and a very large number on student visas. So all these people who've moved to Canada on these various temporary visas have are now part of the system over here, and many of the provinces actually have supply of these demanded immigrants through these people who are either students or who've been in Canada for a few years through the work permits. So right now, very honestly speaking, PNPs are as difficult as the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Now, if we look at the current situation and system, and I don't mean to be discouraging or foster negativity over here. You should never lose hope, and with immigration, you should always keep in mind that things never stay the same. It is a dynamic system. Streams open and close, scores go up and down, so there's always hope. But you need to know realistically what are the opportunities so that you don't waste your time, money and effort. Looking at PNPs, right now for those people who are not in Canada and who are outside of Canada and are looking for skilled migration options, the PNP options that are there are, so you have Ontario, the OINP, you have Alberta, the AINP, you have Saskatchewan, the SINP, and these are pretty much the major options that you have. There is the Quebec skilled worker program as well, but that's not for everybody because there is a French requirement, and it's tricky. Other than this, there isn't any PNP where you have realistic opportunity to be invited from outside of Canada. And why I say that? Because provinces like British Columbia, BC, they're only doing it for people who are in the province or who are in Canada, job offer based. If you look at some smaller provinces like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, they do invite people from outside of Canada, but it is a very occasional invite that would happen once or twice a year for a very small number of professions, and these can be any random profession, so you can't really rely on these programs. The three programs that I mentioned, which I'll repeat, the Ontario PNP or OINP as it is named exactly, the Saskatchewan program, SINP, and the Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program are where you have realistic opportunities. Now, I'll actually start in order of preference. In order of preference as I have it. So I'll start off with Alberta. AINP is the easiest if you look at it from the outside, because if you talk with a lot of people, if you see all these YouTube videos which are by non-practicing immigration people, just to promote the videos, they'll say that Alberta has a lot of opportunities with such a low CRS score, 300, 350, you can get this. Now that's true, but then again, a very big no. Why? Alberta PNP, they do invite people with low CRS, and they've invited people with as low as 300 some CRS scores, but they tend to invite people who have a close relative within the province, and it is usually for a specific set of professions, IT professions. I've actually done a video on it about the professions, and I can make a video specifically again, but it is specific professions, and you must be having a relative in the province, a close relative, usually a sibling. The whole reason is that what a lot of people have been doing is that they move to Canada on a PNP and then they don't stay in the province. There is a moral obligation to stay in the province. You can move away if it's unavoidable. You might have troubles once you apply for your citizenship, but nobody can stop you. So they want people who have a close relative so that people stay in the province of Alberta. So if you don't have a relative in the province of Alberta, your chances of getting an invite are very low. But this is not something that is there as a requirement. So definitely, if you have a low CRS, you can look at the option of applying for Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program. Keep in mind, for AINP, you do not have to submit a separate application. You just make your express entry profile and indicate that you're interested in Alberta. Moving on, we have the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, which made a lot of news when approximately a year ago that they opened up with a large number of professions. It's an attractive program, but you have to keep in mind that again, this particular program has its competitiveness. This program is good for people whose age is more than 30 years. And they are losing important points for age for Federal Skilled Worker Program or some other PNPs, because the highest points that you'll get for this particular program in terms of age is up until the age of 35. So till 34 you have highest points. But keep in mind that this particular program has its own points system, points grid. To score the highest points for Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, you must have a master's degree. You should have a CLB 8. So one of the good things about this particular program is that you do not require CLB 9 to have the highest score. You need a CLB 8. Age, as I mentioned, up till 34, you can get the points. But the important thing is that this program will award you points for your work experience in a different way. So they award you up to 10 points for your work experience in the last 5 years. So if you have 5 years of experience in the last 5 years, you get 10 points. And then it also awards you points for your work experience in 5 years before the last 5 years, so 6 to 10 years. So you will only be able to get the highest number of points for your experience if you have 9 or 10 years of experience. And looking at the recent draws, they've only invited people with scores of 69 and 70. And if you're talking of 69, that means a master's degree, CLB 8, 9 years of work experience, and age not more than 34. So if you have less experience, then this program is not for you. If you have only 3 to 4 years experience, you will not be able to have an invitation under this program. Lastly is the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. Now this has been an attractive program and pretty effective one as well. More recently, because of the FSW scores going very high, the cutoff score for this particular program went beyond anybody's expectations as well. But this is a realistic program for people who are losing their points because of age or one or two other factors. You can expect invitations at around 430s and 440s for this particular program. But do keep in mind that they only invite people from a select number of professions. So you need to know about those professions. What are those professions? So they do a tech draw wherein there's about 6-7 professions, web developers, software engineers, people like these. There's about 5 to 6 professions. They get invited under the tech draw, and then they have a general occupation draw in which they've invited marketing and sales managers, advertising, marketing professionals, auditors, accountants. The challenge in this particular PNP program is that not all professions will be invited. A select number of professions will be invited, but there is opportunity for these professionals. So for people who are aged, say maybe 32, 33, they have a master's degree, they get to have a CLB 9, and they have a profession from within the list of professions that OINP has, there is good likelihood that you could get a nomination under this program. These are the three PNPs, and I would repeat the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, and the Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program, where you have a realistic opportunity in these times if you're not able to make it for the Federal Skilled Worker Program. But I would really, through this video, want to clear away the perception that a lot of people have that PNPs are easier than the federal programs. In current times, it's actually not true, because the selection is even hard, and for most other provinces, either they're looking for people who've studied from Canada or they want a job offer from within Canada. So that's how PNPs are. To summarize this, and because I said that this is only with regard to the skilled migration, right now, if you have a profile, and most of the queries that we get are from this particular profile, where your age is less than 30, you have strong language ability, and and you expect that you will be able to score CLB 9. You have around 3 years of work experience, but you only have a bachelor's degree, then very honestly, if this is your profile, the chances of being invited under any of the programs are very low. I would highly recommend such people to look for upgrading their education. Now, they have two choices. They can do a postgraduate diploma or a master's degree in their home country, wherever they're living. If age permits, like if they're already 30, then doing this would mean that they'll have a negative impact on the points for age. But if they're still in their mid-20s, late 20s, they can do it for like a year or two, have that, and that will increase their chances. Or you guys should look at the option of applying for education in Canada and using that for your immigration purposes. Otherwise, it's very, very competitive. A lot of people you see online who are posting about, and there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, understandably, and other social media forums as well, where people say that even if you have a low IELTS score, your CRS is low, you're able to do it. Programs like the RNIP, the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, Ontario is about to launch a regional program as well. Now, all these programs, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that things have become more and more competitive. Keep in mind that all these programs are part of an overall policy where the communities, the rural areas, the smaller towns, the smaller provinces for that matters, have had this feeling where all the immigrants who've come to Canada in last about 3 to 4 years have only concentrated into a few of the big cities. And it is these small towns and regions which actually require some skilled labor, skilled manpower. So all these programs are tied with an employer job offer. And the whole point is that if an employer in a particular community has a need, or a set of employer, they offer this job to qualified people who might be in Canada or outside of Canada. Those people move to those communities, and then they work over there, or they will work over there for like a year or 2 years, and that's how they become permanent residents. So for all these regional programs, RNIP, the AIPP, and all other regional pilot programs, keep in mind that you need to have a job offer, and if you don't have a job offer, these programs are not for you. And reality is that if you are not in Canada, if you've not had education from Canada, if you do not have global work experience, the chances of landing into a job in Canada from a Canadian employer are not very high. Again, I don't want to mean negative here, or don't want to discourage any of you. But you have to have the reality in front of you that if you're looking to be hired by a Canadian employer, then you have to go out and work on your resume. You have to go out and work on your profile, and you have to sell yourself. First of all, for these programs, you should not really be knocking at the doors of immigration practitioners. Like, I get to have a lot of queries, my staff gets to have a lot of queries if we can help arrange a job. Most of immigration practitioners cannot, and these are all white collar jobs. For these, you must work on your profiles, your resumes, use paid recruitment services, LinkedIn paid services and stuff. Get in touch with employers in these regions and communities and try your luck for a job offer. If you don't have a job offer, these regional pilot programs are not for you. So that's how it is. Unfortunately, much of the video might have sounded a little discouraging and negative. That was by no means the kind of message that I wanted to give. I just wanted to clear this picture for all of you, because these are common questions that we get to have. If your education is not beyond bachelor's, that is what you need to focus on. If you are not able to score high IELTS score like CLB 9s ideally, but CLB 8 possibility as well, the chances are that you will not be able to qualify under one of the programs. If your age is, for most of programs, I would say more than 30, but programs like Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, if it is more than 34, you're above mid 30s. With the programs that are open right now, the chances are very, very low. So don't waste your money with all these non-professional people out there, and have a calculated and focused approach. That's all that I really wanted to talk about. If you have any queries, if you have any feedback, post in the comment section. Would really encourage and recommend to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, support the channel. If you're watching this on the Facebook page, follow the Facebook page, and ask questions through the comment section, so that myself and my team will be able to guide you. That's all from my side for today. I hope I would have been able to provide some clarity, some value addition. Until the next time that we meet, take care and Allah Hafiz.